All right, we are back. Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to take a look at the writing prompt, Should You Give Up Your Halloween Candy? Now, hold on. Before you get all upset, take a look at the subheading. Some kids like swapping sweets for cash, so maybe you might be interested. All right, well, let's take a look at our model here. So in your reading assignment, I gave you this handy dandy sheet that you had to fill out. And again, you had to pick a side. So we're looking at either yes, who needs Halloween candy? I'd rather have the cash. Or no, I love my candy. You can't take it from me. So you had to pick a side, and I'll be honest, on this one, I picked the side yes and no. At first, I was completely no. Kids love Halloween candy. It's a part of being a kid. You gotta let them have it. But then I kept reading the article and I thought, they have some good points. So I picked yes and no. I'm kind of in the middle. So let's talk about why. Let me give you my examples of my personal examples and also my text evidence. And again, it doesn't matter which side you choose when you do your writing. The most important thing is that you can defend your opinion with good examples from your life and good examples from the text using text evidence. You're not going to be graded on which side you choose. It's your ability to defend. So let's take a look. So again, when I took a look at the article, the first thing, or even just the title of the article, my first opinion was, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big candy eater. I'm more of a donut chip fan. When you're looking at the junk food spectrum, a Jolly Rancher just is not that appealing to me. It's one reason why I buy them to give out to kids as incentives or bribes, because I know it's a candy that I'm not going to eat. Now, hold on a second. If you offer me a Twix or maybe a Snickers, it's going to be another story. But, overall, I'm just not a big candy fan. So giving up Halloween candy wouldn't really be a horrible thing for me. But again, that's just me. So yours is going to most likely be very different. Let's look at my second point. This one refers more to the article. So the first one obviously is more of just a personal opinion. But again, that's what makes an opinion an opinion. It's all about your personal opinions and your personal perspectives on the issue, but also using text evidence. So let's look at my point number 2. So when I looked at number 2, I wrote selling your candy to the dentist. So this comes from the text. So if you take a look at the text and you go down to the bottom section here, we have Julia. And Julia is a young lady that just went trick-or-treating, and I'm a huge fan of her Halloween costume, as is, I'm sure, Emma. Do you notice Emma? She's wearing a Harry Potter costume. Love it, love it. Super awesome. Okay, anyway, so we're taking a look at people like Julia's dentist are finding ways to help kids cut back on Halloween treats. So Julia had a big choice to make: sell her sweets or eat them. So a little bit back, it said the dentist is paying her $1 for every pound of candy. Now, for one thing, when you go trick-or-treating, or at least when I did, when I was a kid, I never filled an entire pillowcase. So I don't know where they're trick-or-treating, but I'd like to know where that neighborhood is, because I was never able to get that much candy. Maybe a quarter of a pillowcase if I was lucky. Anyways, back to the prompt at hand. So we have this dentist, and apparently this is a popular thing, that is offering to buy kids Halloween candy. So that was my first point. I thought, well, that's interesting. Selling your Halloween candy to the dentist, if you could make money off of it, and I don't know, use the money to go buy a new game for your game system, or, maybe a new basketball, or, that new pair of shoes you've had your eye on, something like that. It might be some incentive. All right, so I've got candy is donated to soldiers. So I thought, well, that is so cool, because if someone was a soldier and they're overseas fighting for our freedom, they probably don't have access to some of these different candies that we have piles of at Halloween. Excuse me. So they might be pretty excited to be able to get this shipment of Halloween candy just as an extremely special treat for them. So that information came from right up here, again from the article, the sweet treats you sell are often donated to U.S. soldiers living in another country. So that would be pretty awesome. You know, anything you can do to make their day better. And then we had a little bit more text evidence, no weeks or months of munching. You know, everything gets old after a while, and you're looking at December and you're still munching on Halloween candy? Yeah, I don't know. Taking a look at the next statistic, and this is from the article. The average 8-year-old eats 50 pounds of sugar. I mean, that's amazing. I didn't look at how long that was. Let's take a look. After all, the average 8-year-old eats 50 pounds of sugar each year. 50 pounds of sugar. That's really kind of amazing. Okay, so taking a look at my third point. Again, I'm kind of on the fence. My first my first reason or example is definitely an opinion, and it kind of pushes me towards just get rid of the candy. And then my second point is, you know, yes, we don't really need to keep the candy. We can do things with it. We can sell it and donate it to soldiers. We don't necessarily want or need to be munching till December on Halloween candy. And oh my goodness, 50 pounds of sugar? Now I'm moving towards, well, maybe kids want Halloween candy as just something that's special once a year. So let's take a look at number 3. From the article, it talked about that it is a great opportunity for kids to prove themselves responsible. So that moved into the next section called Keeping It All. So over here, you take a look and it starts giving you reasons of why, no, I love my candy. So you might be on that side. So when I took a look at the article, it said that some kids like proving their parents that they can control themselves, taking only a few small pieces a day. Being trusted to make good choices is a big part of growing up. So that's kind of huge, right? Because everybody wants things, even kids. You know, you want phones, you want shoes, you want to go to a friend's house. Well, you have to show that you're responsible, right? And that's a little bit at a time. Responsibility is one of those things that you have to prove a little bit every day. And then we start to, you know, kind of get this idea of, oh my goodness, this kid is so responsible, I should give them this phone. Or, yes, I can trust them to go to this friend's house and make good choices. So, you know, it's a good opportunity for kids to prove that they're responsible. And then the article also talked a little bit about maybe just keeping some and selling some. And, you know, just take just a few a day. So a few pieces of candy a day. So we've got some good reasons to support my argument or my opinion of I'm kind of in the middle of yes and no. All right, so let's do some writing. So taking a look at your writing prompt, again, we indent with a tab button to move it in a few spaces. And then we could say something like, maybe we could, I'm bolded. Hold on. We got dentists all over the world are, maybe the country, I don't know about the world, all over the country are paying kids for their Halloween candy. Halloween candy. Let's see. So then we can start moving into our points, right? Because we've now told the reader that we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening. What's happening is dentists all over the world are buying kids Halloween candy. Let's see. Maybe we could say to prevent, I feel like it needs a little more, sugar overload. Just to add a little bit of fun to it. All right, so let's take a look. My first point was that I'm not a big fan of candy. Okay, so let's see. Again, this is my personal opinion. So this would not really. Oh wait, no. Let's do something like many kids are upset at the idea of getting rid of their hard-earned candy. However, Miss Jones is not a big candy fan, so this wouldn't be a hardship for her. Okay, second point. We've got selling your candy to the dentist, donating to soldiers. Okay, so let's see here. Moving into, gotta get back over here. Going back to blue was my second point. And again, you do not have to color code. I just like to because I think it's more fun. Okay, so let's see. We're looking at these dentists are, I've got it. Hold on. These cavity fighting dentists, yes, are buying kids Halloween candy and donating it. Oops, hold on. Can't spell Halloween wrong. And donating it, donate, D-U-N-A-T, to soldiers fighting overseas. Overseas, is that one word? Overseas for our freedom. This is an amazing act of kindness because I'm sure these soldiers greatly appreciate a special treat when they are far from home. Okay, I'm going to pause and I want to point something out to you. So over the past couple of weeks, I've really tried to work with you on modeling how to add more detail. So notice something that in my, I want to call this an outline, okay? My outline has candy donated to soldiers, right? I took just those 4 words and I built them into several sentences all about donating candy to soldiers, why that's a kind thing to do. Now let's say, for example, that you have an uncle who is fighting overseas. You could give an example. You could say, I do not have an uncle fighting overseas, but let's say I did. I could say, for example, my Uncle Rick is in the Army and is in, let's say, Afghanistan. I think I spelled that right. Oh, no, I didn't. Let's see, Afghanistan. Oh, there we go. Afghanistan. And I know if a shipment of Jolly Ranchers showed up at his front door, it would put a smile on his face during these hard times. Okay, so again, I'm building in detail. It's not random stuff, right? We're not going to go on and on about how your uncle's brother's cousin ended up with 3 bags of candy for Halloween and ate it until June, right? So we want to make sure it's all focused on the prompt, but I'm adding more and more detail, and that's what I really want to encourage you to do with this. You want to take all of these different ideas and build on them and add more detail, and as I grade your writing, that's what I'm going to really be looking for. So if you see that you're getting a score of maybe a 2 and you really wanted a 3, or maybe a 3 and you really wanted a 4, that could be why. It could be that you're just not building in the detail and you want to add more from your personal experiences, more from the text evidence, because look at my outline here. I haven't even touched on these 2 blues or any of my 3rd point. Now, I'm running out of time because this thing only gives me 15 minutes to talk, but hopefully you're catching on with the idea, because from this point, I would go ahead and I would add in my last 2 no weeks, or my last B and C, and then my number 3 point. All right, I'm going to have to stop here. I'm out of time, but good luck, everybody, and I look forward to reading your writing. Have a great day.